Welcome back, and so let's get right into our second conversation, which has got everyone talking since the weekend when the outgoing or outgone chairperson of Bariga LCD announced the renaming of streets. And one particular renaming was the one that got everyone talking, got all the attention, because if you look at that list, there were other streets that were renamed in that particular LCD. Now, the man at the heart of the subject joins us now. Charly Boy, Charles Oputa, if you like, area father. He joins us virtually from Lagos. Thank you so much for joining us, Charly Boy.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I was talking about the streets, and I'd like to go through, some of them, just a high point, why all of this may be, the uppermost in the minds of Nigerians. There's Ajidago Street, named Olamide Adedeji Street. There is Bariga Road, renamed Bola Ahmed Tinubu Road. There's Ilaje Road, renamed King Sunny Ade Road. There is Ifeanyi Street. I believe that's the only other Igbo name there that is renamed Abolore Akonde to honor, of course, the singer Nice. So why do you think yours has been singled out, dominating talking points online and offline? Because all the other names that were renamed got Yoruba names. In fact, there's just only one Igbo name that was renamed to a Yoruba name.
My sister, if you ask me now, who I go ask? I don't know. I don't know why they do the things they do, but it seemed to me a little silly, a lot more silly, and petty, because those are not the things that we should be talking about right now. Those are not priorities. Whether you name it Charly Boy or you name it Olumide Bado or whatever, it's neither here or there. What our priorities should be is about the 2027 election. Will our vote count? That's what I think we should be talking about.
Perhaps for a lot of people who do not understand how far, just how much of history is behind that bus stop. There's been a lot of talk around how it came to be Charly Boy bus stop in the first place, and it wasn't official. It was the people that came together. But I mean, you know this history better than anyone. How did Charly Boy bus stop become Charly Boy bus stop? So we understand the history behind all of this.
Well, once upon a time, I used to live in a bus stop, and that's because people who were in Bagada at the time felt it was just the right thing to do to name a bus stop after me, because honestly, I did contribute to that community. Both the military pensioners, the Okada riders, and anybody, any young person. I gave scholarships out and stuff like that. I don't really like to talk a lot about what I've done and what I haven't done, but I tried for my community at the point of time I was there. Okay, I held sway, so I guess because of all what I've done in the past for people, they just decided it was a cool idea, naming the bus stop after me, and that's how it all started.
Do you remember what year this was named Charly Boy? Because that part of history is missing again. We don't document a lot of these things, and the conversation is really flying over some people's heads. Do you remember what year?
I remember vividly. It was after 1990, after my song 1990, which was a hit back in the days. And so about 91, 92. Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to find out from you, if my records are correct, you should be maybe around 74, 75. And this
Now you
feels...
talk more. I really don't like discussing my age, not for any particular reason,
I
because
know, but you don't look any...
what has age got to do with anything?
No, I know.
Really.
Yes, I know. You don't even look close to your age, so that is curious. I don't know what you eat. I don't know what you do.
And I work hard at it.
Yeah, so
I swear to God, I work hard at it. I mean, people think I've been under the knife. I've never, ever been under the knife. Yeah, a few times I had Botox and stuff like that, but that comes and it goes away. So, but and that's why right now I'm very passionate about promoting things that could keep us men healthy and in good shape. Okay, that's why I set up the Charly Boy Foundation. And all we do is to cater to men, okay, for their well-being, because men are going through a lot of changes in the country as it were right now. So my heart goes out to men. I'm heavy with that campaign, and for me, that's priority. Yeah, because I've been through it. I've been through prostate challenge, erectile dysfunction, and all of that. So I think I owe it to most men, or all men in Nigeria, to advocate and to, give new information and bring new life into the campaign. There's no reason for men to fear, okay?
All right.
Because it's something that is treatable, yeah.
All right, I was saying that, and I'm happy you brought this element. That means there are so many parts to you a lot of people do not know. So I was saying, calling
of course, now.
Yes, I was mentioning.
Like I did talk.
Yes.
Charly boy, no, they finish. If you finish.
Okay. I was saying that to say I was actually complimenting the fact that you look nothing close to your age, and this was the people trying to immortalize perhaps a legacy. So how does it feel now at this point where maybe perhaps you felt this should have been done officially in properly naming it by the council, and now they totally removed it and calling it, I think, Bado bus stop?
It doesn't matter. Anybody who's done something for his community could take the shine. It doesn't really matter to me, okay? I'm indifferent, okay? Like I said, that is not our priority right now. It should be something more important to all of us, and which is making sure that come 2027, because that's where I see all the indicators, that's where they're pointing at, okay? That our vote should count, period.
And that's where I'm headed, because at the start you talked about, what's more important at this point in time. And one can't miss your reaction to this, the satirical post that you put up with a colleague there. And another thing that we cannot miss is the reactions trailing that post, and generally the conversation about the name change of Charly Boy bus stop to Bado bus stop. What role can you play? Because people have said this cannot dent the legacy of activism of Charly Boy over the years. So what role can you play to ensure that the ethnic coloration that dogged the 2023 election, particularly in Lagos, does not repeat itself?
It's funny to me when people try to shade me as a tribalist. I would like to say something. Do you know that most of my friends are from the West? They're Yoruba guys, most of them. I have more Yoruba and Hausa friends than I have of Igbo friends, yeah? And the people who have benefited from the Charly Boy Foundation and all that I've done in the past, have been more of Westerners than Easterners. Because for some reason, I think God has blessed me with some very good choices that I've made in the past. You know, where people are allowed to be in my space. And just like what I think I've given to them, they've given me back twofolds. Because I usually place all my cards on the table. Okay? So when people try to bring a tribalistic coloration to what I do, you know, I resent that. Because there's nowhere in hell that is the truth. It can't be. You know, that's a whole lot of jargon, if you ask me. You know, because I don't see tribe. I don't see religion. I'm a free spirit. I don't see these things. But, you know, I keep asking one question, and that is, why is it that when they want to do the stealing, when they want to be as corrupt as sin, you will find the Igbo man, you find the Yoruba man, you find the Fulani man, they're all in that place, so chopping the money. But when it's time for election, or for us to talk about how we move on, yeah, politically, then you start seeing these things. It's their old playbook. Everybody, most people are hip to it. And for the past 20 years, I've never trusted any government in power. Never. And I ain't going to start now. But we have two choices. One is to make sure that in 2027 that we get it right, or because I know that it will have to get worse before it even gets better. And I want to also reassure Nigerians that, I mean, you know, globally I said, leadership has fallen to an all-time low. Okay? You can see what's happening in America. Trump and his MAGA people. And that is what is so dangerous. Because already in Africa, we have Mumu leaders who are only but interested in building their own empires. And that's the same thing I know Trump for. It's nothing but about him and his empire. And this sets off a very bad example for people who are already, their mind, they don't get mind, they are wicked as sin. Yes. So let's face what is facing us. Let's face the problem.
And I wonder...
This 2027 election,
right.
How you go be?
That's a very important question. And you mentioned earlier that, I mean, you see politics written all over this. You have not hidden your support for Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi. You've time and again called out government, the president. It's not something you shy away from, and it's not something you started today. So I wonder, with this decision to rename the bus stop Olamide Bado, what has that done to your resolve ahead of 2027? Because you said we must get it right. On the one hand, what has it done to your resolve to support Mr. Peter Obi? What has it done to your resolve to call government out and all of that? Has it dampened it in any way?
You should know me by now. I never quit. I'm not a quitter. I've done it with my marriage of 100 years, living with the same woman, you know. So I'm not a quitter. What speaks to my soul, I follow. And damn it, I mean, we're due for a big overhaul. And anybody who has a resonating message that flows with that ideology, you know, the natural thing is to be supportive. Because common sense no common again, you know. And this is what happens when riffraffs, criminal people from no pedigree whatsoever are occupying position of powers. People where we don't even know where they come from. Yes. Before it was all about integrity, at least in my own time. In the early 50s, it was all about integrity, all about where you're coming from, who your father, your mother is. Yes. It wasn't about who has the most money, because we don't even know people who get money at that time. We don't know. It was about your word being your bond. Those were the values we grew up with. Not all these things, people from the gutters are doing like within a market square. That is why when they say it's a zoo, I can dig that.
All right,
I beg make with the face within the face also.
All right, so let me find out from you with a direct question. What kind of president does Nigeria need?
One that is truthful. One that really shows that he has the interest of the masses at heart. One that is willing to do everything possible for us to be self-independent, to be productive, not to be consumers like the Holocaust. Yes. One that has human sympathy. One that is not the devil. One that is not over-religious, but has love for humanity. That's the kind of president I want to see. One that you will look at and be proud as a Nigerian. Yes, that is my even president. Yeah, that's the kind of president I would like to see.
And so do you see those qualities in Mr. Peter Obi?
Yes. Amongst the bunch, I'm not gonna lie to you now. I can't lie. Yeah, I do. I really do.
And do you
with my whole chest.
And do you see them in the current president?
Is that supposed to be a joke?
No, it's a direct question.
It's a direct question. No, I don't. And that's a direct answer.
Just to stretch it a bit further, why would you say so? Some would say that he's moving the country in the
right opinion. That's
direction.
just my opinion. You ask me a question, I answer. Don't ask me the why.
And pardon me, sir, and the difficult decisions he's taking, if Mr. Peter Obi or Mr. Atiku Abubakar had won the election in 2023, they would have been taking similar decisions.
Next question.
All right, Kyrie, you have the floor now.
You want to find out something from my mouth, eh?
Well,
I beg. Next question. Make we talk the one with the doors.
Interesting times.
Interesting
times we're in. The politicking has begun way, way too early. You lead this movement, our Mumu don't do, and it's a message you have spoken to time and again. But, you know, something else came up, and it's a personal issue. It's a narrative that has also come up in all of this controversy around politics, renaming of the bus stop. It's a lot put together. And it is those people who, on the one hand, say that they love what you represent. You represent that, you know what, I do not care, I will speak truth to power, whatever it takes, whatever comes at me, and all of that. And there's some other people who say, well, we don't see him as a good example for young people. And they put up some of the pictures. Some of them have described it as badass and the rest. But they put up those pictures and say, well, we don't see him as a good example for young Nigerians. So maybe it's okay to have that bus stop renamed. This is a question I imagine you've had to answer time and again. But it has come up yet again. For the younger generation, what do you say to them?
You know, when I started off this Charly boy thing, My father was most worried on my behalf. And why? Obviously, because he felt that people would not understand me with all the shenanigans that I bring to play. So, but I now asked him a question. I said, but do you understand me? And he says, yes. He says he's saying what he's saying because this is a very conservative environment. And some of the things, how I posturize, how I do my thing, you know, smacks of somebody who's not thinking well, who may just be irresponsible. And as for mumus who are out there, to think that after I come from such a high-graded pedigree, that people will expect anything less from me. I am my father's son. And my father is me. Chukwudifuokuta lives in this body also. So for all what he's respected for, I've acquired it because I didn't bring them, that is my father, my mother, to come live with me for almost the 20 years of my life in my house, while I took care of them and I loved them like a son would to the parents. Those were my part of my Kodak moments in my life, because I felt I was finally paying back to the people who showed me the way. My father, who taught me simplicity and the art of contentment. That's what I drive on. So, I beg, when they compare me, so what will I tell the kids? Well, like I said, let's not get it all mixed up, twisted. There is something that we should worry about, and that's our future. But like I keep saying, you can't make eggs without breaking eggs. You can't make an omelet without breaking eggs, sorry, you know. So it's important we understand what's at play, the magnitude of what's at play, and do the needful. I've always believed in the Nigerian youths. I'm not talking about all of them, but the exceptional one. And I've met a few of the exceptional youths in whom I have great confidence that the salvation of this country lies in their hands. Look at what the people in the diasporas, how they make us proud, Nigerians in the diasporas. So I know it's a question of time, but it ain't going to be easy. So before that light at the end of the tunnel, it will have to get worse before it gets better.
So for you, for people, for the young people, maybe the Gen Zs who are not quite familiar with your history and your legacy, and they perhaps they're being asked, what is it about Charly Boy they should emulate? What would it be?
I don't know, everybody to each his own, take whatever you can, but I'm an energy of positivity. There's quite a whole lot to learn and to take from the brand. Because I'm always this fresh, I'm always this youthful, because my interaction has a lot to do with young people. And they're the ones that keep me youthful. They're the ones that, you know, teach me the new trends. So I've also learned from them. It's not just me giving, they've given me something back in return. And I appreciate that, you understand? So, yeah, it's not going to be easy, but it's doable. And I want the Nigerian youths to know that it is doable. To get a new Nigeria of our dream, it is doable. And that is the only challenge before them.
Well, besides the other part of the conversation, for the younger people who may not know, there are so many other things that can be picked from your life and your history, your program that was
My book is
a
coming
national...
out. My book is coming out. It's called 999.
Oh.
And what does, here it is.
Okay.
What does that mean?
You
999 is an angelic number. Angelic, I said. 999 is the era of new beginnings. Okay?
All right, so we'll look forward to that.
The era of new beginnings. So I'm starting life all afresh. If you see me, my shoe, they shine. My face, they shine. That is because I did chill at the bubble.
Well, that's something to pick. Starting life at 75, starting life all over again. That's certainly something to pick. But I was going to refer to your program from the 90s, the Charlie Boy Show, Candid Camera. So that entrepreneurial spirit is definitely worth emulating, to answer Jeffrey's question. But very quickly, one thing that also forms part of the conversation was that this action by the outgone chairman of LCDA may be illegal if you consider that Bariga LCDA is part of the 37 LCDAs not recognized under the Constitution. And as a result, residents of Bariga can take this up in the court of law and have that changed back to Charlie Boy bus stop. Is this something that you may be encouraging the residents to take up?
To each his own. I don't encourage anything. I don't discourage anything. You understand? Yeah? If people feel that, you know, they have the right to question, let them go ahead. Because you see, part of the problem that we have today is that there are no consequences for bad behavior. Do as you like. It's like we're running a motor park kind of government. I don't know. But it smells, it has this bad odor. Okay? Do as you like. Anyhow, just, if 1 million people die, it's not your business. Just anyhow. But who do anyhow? One day, him go sit. Anyhow.
And when you speak, your device there took a hit, clearly, but I hope you're fine, sir. Just on the final note.
Don't mind me, I'm being melodramatic.
Of course, and I mean, that's what a lot of people love about your person. But on a final note, I've personally seen you engaged in sporting activities. I saw you taking a walk. I think it was on Okwebi Road. You know, it was quite early in the morning, and I just saw you pass.
There's been sightings of Charlie Boy all over the
all over the place. You know, but here's where I'm going.
Then they see me for Aja.
That's great.
They see me for Ajegunle.
But here's where I'm going with that question, sir. You talked about consequences for bad behavior. That's why we started off on the show this morning. There must be consequences, and there must also be reward for good behavior. The Super Falcons, because you do sports and you're very active, you're even wearing tracksuit. They just won the WAFCON. They got $100,000, flat national honors. What say you to that? Is that the way to go, really? The spirit and then the kind of reward they got? Just on a lighter note now.
You mean our girls?
Yes.
The Falcons?
Our girls, the Super Falcons.
I owe them an apology. Because I was drowning in all this bus stop thing. A lot of people have been calling me, like, they're talking to me as if I lost something. I don't get it. You know, there's nothing to lose in it all, you know. But just some people just acting stupid. Yes, my heart goes out to the Falcons. You know, I like to seize this opportunity to congratulate them for a job well done. And once we have this empathy, once we support things that are positive, you know, once we support good things will strive. But if we continue to support evil, I'm sorry, evil will also thrive.
So do you commend President Tinubu for this kind of support and reward he has given them? do you think is the way to go?
Make it bring down the price of fuel. Release Nnamdi Kanu. Do some certain things you're supposed to do. Not be when we they suffer, then they party. That's marks of insensitivity, and I don't like that.
All right.
Tomorrow I can be Tinubu's friend, though, but he better be sure.
All right.
He's doing things for the people. Yes, that's what I say.
All right. 1 hour may be inadequate to exhaust every single bit of information that we can glean from you. And of course, there's more to talk about, your music, your entertainment, but we'll have to get your commitment to return to the show subsequently so that we can also cover that part. You also talked about your book. Maybe that would be our next talking point. We must thank you very much at this point for coming on the show. We've been talking with Charly Boy, Charles Oputa, Area Father 1.
Yes, one of Africa. Yes, and the president of all frustrated Nigeria. Nami be that.
Thank you so much, sir, for coming on the show.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you so much. There's more to come on the program. This time we're headed to, well, here in the studio to continue our conversation on genetically modified organisms. So stay with us. We'll be right back.